Hey guys, so this week we have a delicious recipe. It's already been requested twice, so it's amazing Fettuccine Alfredo. It is delicious. It is fantastic. So without any further ado, let's get to it. So guys, an amazing Fettuccine Alfredo starts with an amazing Alfredo sauce. Now, what do we need to make that sauce? Well, we need a lot of cheese, we need some heavy cream, and a bunch of other stuff. So what I'm doing here is first I'm taking a block of Parmesan Romano cheese, and we're going to take about 1 cup of this cheese and we're going to use it in our sauce. If you don't have this exact blend, you can always do half a cup of Parmesan, half a cup of Romano, and mix the two together. So all I'm doing here is I'm cutting it up into little pieces, and once we do that, we're going to put it into our food processor and we're going to blend it into a fine powder, and that's going to help us basically melt the cheese faster into our sauce later on when we make our sauce. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to blend this up in the food processor until it's grated into a fine powder, and then we're going to take it over to the stove and use that to cook. So here's our final powder. It is ready to go, and all we have to do is take this powder. We're going to use about half of it in the beginning, and then we're going to use the other half later on. So you want to first take this over, take it to the stove, and start making your delicious Alfredo sauce. So guys, here what we have is we have our boiling water, and what we're going to do is we're going to make our pasta. So first what you want to do is in this boiling water, drop about 2 or 3 pinches of salt. The salt's going to season the water because we don't want bland pasta. We want delicious, great tasting pasta. Then next what we're going to do is we're going to put in a little bit of olive oil into this water. The reason we're putting olive oil into the water is because we don't want our pasta to stick. Now what we're going to do is we are going to take some fresh fettuccine noodles and we're going to drop them in there. You can always buy dry fettuccine noodles that come in the box, or you can go to your local grocery store and pick up some fresh fettuccine noodles as well. If you want to make your own pasta at home, there are plenty of videos on YouTube that teach you how to do that as well, and we might cover that in a later video down the road. But for the time being, you can use box noodles or even these fresh noodles. Either way, it works fine and tastes delicious. So I'm just going to move the pan over to a different flame, and we're going to start making our Alfredo sauce. So you want to take about a cup of heavy cream into your pan right here, and then next what we're going to do is we're going to add juice from about half a lemon. The reason we're going to add some lemon juice is because we want that nice zing that comes from it. Next, we're going to add in butter. Now, you want to make sure that you use unsalted butter, because if you use salted butter, it's going to make your dish very, very salty. So just add about 3 ounces of butter. We're going to cut it into little cubes, and we just want to drop it into our heavy cream. And what we're going to do is we're going to melt this butter into our pan. And then once it's melted and it comes to a little bit of a boil, that is when we are going to add our cooked noodles into this sauce right here. We don't want it to be too chunky, that's why we want the butter to melt, and that butter is going to give a nice creaminess to our sauce as well. So next we're going to see if our noodles are done. How do we do that? We taste them. There's nothing else you do to them. You literally just taste them. Do not throw them against the wall. Do not try to find some hack on how to know if your noodles are ready. Literally just taste it. It should be soft on the outside but still have a little bit of bite. That's how you know it's perfectly al dente. Literally just cook it with the instructions that are written on the box and you should be good to go. Now what you want to do is you want to transfer these noodles from the water into your sauce right here. So you might want to use a spatula, or you might want to use a ladle. Whatever helps you transfer the noodles over to your sauce would make your life a lot easier. I tried using a ladle and then I realized, you know what, it'd be a lot easier if I just drained all my pasta and then transfer it over. So I saved myself some time. So that's exactly what I did. I drained my pasta in a strainer, dropped them into the sauce right here. Now once you drop them into the sauce, what you want to do is you want to start mixing them around so that they're evenly coated with the sauce. You can use some tongs, you can use even a regular spatula, whatever you want to use for this. Next we're going to do is we're going to start adding in our rest of our ingredients. So I've taken our Parmesan here that we had, a cup of our Parmesan Romano blend, and I'm going to drop pretty much almost all of it into the pasta right here. I'm going to save a little bit of it for the end where I want to sprinkle some extra on top. Now what you want to do is you want to just basically mix your pasta and get the cheese all mixed thoroughly throughout the entire pasta, and then you want to make sure that it starts melting. Once it does that, you have your creamy, delicious pasta and the sauce already mixed together. Then what we're going to do is we are going to add a little bit of lemon zest. Again, we already added a little bit of lemon juice. Now we're adding the zest to add a little bit of texture and a little extra zing to our pasta as well. Then we're going to season our pasta with a little bit of nutmegs. You want to add about a pinch of nutmeg. This nutmeg gives a unique depth and flavor to your Fettuccine Alfredo and really makes it stand out amongst other Alfredo sauces. Then what we're going to do is we are going to add about a pinch or two of black pepper. You can season it according to your preference. What I recommend is maybe add 2 or 3 pinches and then taste it after mixing. Then you get an idea of whether or not you want to add more, because you can always add more seasoning afterwards, but it's very difficult to remove seasoning once it's already been added in there, and it's really hard to improve a flavor once it's already deep inside your pasta. So like I said, recommend just taste it, taste your sauce. If you need extra seasoning, you can always add it. Based on my taste here, I didn't really think I needed any more, so I was pretty much done and good to go. So guys, here's our final product. Our pasta is amazing. It smells so good. So make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Punch that notification bell. And stay tuned for further recipes because we're making some delicious food. And of course, guys, without ending the video, I knew I had to taste it. It was so nice and warm and creamy. So I just dug in right away. It was so delicious. So guys, make sure to stay tuned for more.